Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another special Memorial Day special out of the Fast Lane. Um, tomorrow we will be doing some other drivers, but today is Memorial Day, and we are here to support all the troops that have served and are serving right now in this country. Thank you to all of them. But today we have a special guest on. He races out of Vermont at Devil's Bowl down in Vermont. Or down by Vermont, and he races sportsman down there. So he will be on in a minute. His name is Anthony Ryan. He races number 211. Yeah, it's pretty cool to have a bunch of drivers. Now I'm getting drivers. Now that drivers, like I said, but if you want to book me, just DM me on anything, Brady Hauser. Now I have drivers from Vermont and Canada and all this stuff. So we're going to have a who's who of drivers from all around the world, or all around the country, on my show. So yeah, we got a couple NASCAR drivers as well, so stay tuned for that. But like I said, on today's show, we got sportsman driver Anthony Ryan, and we are going to get him on right now. And here we go. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What have you been doing during this pandemic to stay healthy and race ready?
To stay healthy and race ready?
Yeah.
Well, I have a 2-year-old son that I chase around. He keeps me pretty active and healthy. And as far as getting ready, our race car was ready months prior before the pandemic hit. We're ready to go, and that's usually how we operate. We get everything done way beforehand. We don't like to procrastinate.
Yeah. If racetracks were to open soon, how would you feel if they had no fans in the stands?
I'm not a fan of that, actually. I love racing, and for me, one of the best parts of racing as a driver is when you win the race and you stand up on the hood of the roof of your car and you see everybody you love and care about come running to victory lane. That's one of the greatest feelings there is. And without that and all the fans in the stands, it just wouldn't be as much fun.
So, for a lot of us, like, upstate New Yorkers, we don't really, so whereabouts do you, race on the weekly basis for people like us that want to come down and watch you? Whereabouts would we be able to see you?
Yeah, my hometown track is the fastest dirt track in New England. I race at Devil's Bowl, West Haven, Vermont.
Yeah.
So I'm a New England racer, grew up on dirt track racing, and that's what I love.
How did your racing career start, and at what age?
I started last year at the age of 41.
Oh, so you have so you're kind of a late starter.
The racing runs deep in my family. My family's been racing for 60 years. So we have a lot of racing in our blood. My grandfather owned cars way back in the 60s and 70s. My uncle has been racing for more than 30 years. My father took part in racing, so I'm a third-generation race car driver.
What is your favorite track? What is your favorite part about racing at Devil's Bowl?
The community, actually. The owner of the track, the way they promote it, all the people I race with, everybody is super nice for the most part and helpful. You know, if you have a problem, you can always turn to your neighbor, and they'll give you a helping hand if you need it.
Yeah.
And the community is absolutely the best part of dirt track racing.
So you were telling me earlier that you got your first win. What was that like for you when you got your first win at Devil's Bowl?
I was ecstatic. I stood up on the roof of my car, and they handed me the checkered flag, and I lifted it up like I was pulling Excalibur from the stone and waved it around.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. The final 2 laps of the race, I didn't even realize it, but I was holding my breath. And when I actually crossed that checkered flag, I took a deep breath, and I was like, whoa, I was holding my breath that whole time.
Yeah. How do you feel about all the iRacing before NASCAR and dirt racing started to open back up? How do you feel about the iRacing? Did you get to try any of it by any chance?
I do have an iRacing account, and I have like a Logitech G27 wheel and pedals and stuff. But I don't know. I guess I'm just not tech savvy enough. I couldn't get it to work properly.
Mm-hmm.
The handling was way off, so I just kind of put it to the wayside and focused on my real race car.
Mm-hmm. So what goes through your mind when you're potentially gonna like crash and all that? What goes through your mind when that happens?
Well, I had a couple of wrecks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I try to avoid them. I'm always looking far ahead in the track. I'm not a person with tunnel vision who only looks right on their front bumper. I'm looking way down the track, so I was able to avoid a lot of wrecks this year. But the couple that got me, I was a bit disappointed. I'm a pretty even-keeled guy, so I don't have one of those hot tempers. I'm not a person to complain or yell or scream. I basically take my lumps and I think, how can we fix this? What are we going to need to prepare for next week?
Yeah. So what is your favorite racing memory? It doesn't have to be specifically you. It can be like old racing, anything like that. But if it wants to be you, go ahead and explain.
2018. I wasn't even racing.
Mm-hmm.
Our team didn't even get a win that year. But Devil's Bowl used to be a dirt track for dozens and dozens of years.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to pavement. And they were a paved raceway for about 9 years. And in 2018, they switched it back over to clay.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like a kid again. Just going and watching as a spectator, the nostalgia of it, it was an amazing choice. They got amazing car counts. The track popularity really took off when they made that choice. And that's a pretty big memory for me. And it took me right back to feeling like a kid again.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you're a father. What is that like to be racing, being a father on the other side of racing, as well?
It's actually why I started racing. My family's big into it, but once I had a son, I wanted to be a dad he could be proud of. I envisioned years later him going to school and telling his buddies, my daddy's a race car driver. And it really fueled me to be the best dad I possibly can be.
If you could race against any driver, past or present, it could be NASCAR, dirt, motocross, anything like that, who would it be and why?
I really want to move up. Maybe next year. I'm in the rookie division this year, sportsman rookie division at my track. And I want to move up possibly next year and race against my uncle, Jimmy Ryan. They call him High Flying Jimmy Ryan. And Kenny Tremont. I'd really like to rub bumpers with Kenny Tremont. The Sand Lake Slingshot is a pretty big deal around here. And I don't know, that'd be a pretty big dream of mine to actually race side by side with Kenny.
Yeah. So you just brought up a couple nicknames. Do you happen to have a nickname yourself?
I don't have a nickname yet. I feel like nicknames are something you earn with experience on the track, and you don't bequeath them on yourself or anything. So I'll earn mine the way everybody else earns theirs on the track with experience and time.
If you had the opportunity to race NASCAR, would you accept that opportunity to do it?
No, I don't think I would. I'm not in it for the fame or the money. Dirt track racing, there's not much money to be made there unless you're racing big blocks in the Super Dirt Series. But I'm really in it for the fun and the family and the community. And I'm pretty passionate about it, and that's really why I'm doing it.
Would you ever consider racing in a big block by any chance, if you ever got the chance to do that?
Yeah. Actually, there's going to be the Kenny Wallace driving experience at Malta, Albany Saratoga Speedway.
Yeah, that's close to me.
Yeah, and I want to go down there and put in 20 laps in a big block.
Would you ever do Evolution Nationals or Eldora when the trucks are there when they do the big all-star races, or are those anything that you would add on your bucket list as a driver?
There are a couple bucket list tracks I want to race on.
That's just what I. That's the next question. What are some dream tracks of yours to race at?
Yeah, Malta. I'm always. My father is my crew chief, and I'm always bantering back and forth with him. I want to go race Malta. Let's go race Malta this season. Let's go race Malta next season. Malta, I'd say, was number one on that list.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to do some other tracks that are pretty special to me, like Frogtown. I'd like to race in Frogtown. I'd like to make a trip to Drummondville or Weedsport.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to race in those places. But tracks far away, I've had some invitations to come race, like in Pennsylvania, and it's just Louisiana. That's just too far, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rookie driver, and as much as I'd like to go down there, I'd like to focus on getting better at my home track before I drive across the country to suck somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. What other hobbies do you like to do besides racing?
I like snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Snowboarding, I like that a lot. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of hobbies other than the racing right now. So
Mm-hmm.
in the wintertime, I like to snowboard and sled and play with my son.
Mm-hmm. So what would you be doing if you were not a race car driver?
Jeez. That's a tough question. That's a loaded question right there.
Yeah.
I'd probably be working a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a full-time job, but I'd probably be spending more hours at work and trying to stow away some cash, and mainly focusing on my family, raising my son to be a great man.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite football team? I gotta start it. I figured I'd start this question.
My favorite football team is the Patriot Killers, the New York Giants.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh. Okay.
The New York Giants, the Patriot Killers.
There you go, folks. If you don't like the Giants, well, then he's not your person.
Oh, come on.
Which I like the Giants. I like the Giants myself, so I like the Giants myself. Well, that's all I have for today. Any questions for me?
Yeah. What got you into doing the podcast?
I was just bored, and I figured with everything that's going on with the pandemic that it was just something I need to put something positive in the people's, so they can watch something positive in the racing community and all that stuff. And I've had some pretty big names on, like a couple NASCAR drivers, Keith Flack, a whole bunch of guys like that. And so to have drivers like you and other drivers on, for people to watch that and see what they get to see and hear from drivers that on their off time, what they're doing on the off time, it's pretty cool. And then with all the negativity that's really going on right now in the world with the pandemic, it's something positive I want to do just for all in all for the people.
Well, it's great content. I watched some of your videos. Like I watched the Rocky Warner and you know the one Jake Spraker. That's his
driver.
Right?
That's his driver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his driver. And I saw you did Brian Calabrese's.
Yeah.
You're putting out good content.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was shocked when you reached out to me. I was like, hey, really?
Yeah.
I'm just starting out.
So you have a YouTube channel, by the way, so you can feel free to mention that
I
too,
do.
if you want.
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel. I posted all my races from last season, and I have some great GoPro footage on there.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube channel is Ryan Racing #211.
Mm-hmm. I will put the link in the description too for people to click on that as well, for you.
Yep. Thank you.
And so thank you for being on the show today. Good luck this year once we get going.
Yeah, if I could just take 1 second, and I'd like to send a shout out to Devil's Bowl. If nobody's ever been there, I suggest as fans of racing, you just catch a race this year. They have some pretty great races. They do something called Battle at the Bowl, where they have big blocks versus small blocks. Modifieds come, and they compete against each other for the win. And they have great race purses, and it's a great place to race if you haven't been there.
Yep.
Check it out.
All right. Yeah, thank you for being on the show today.
thank you for having me.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.
Yep. Bye. And that was sportsman driver Anthony Ryan. He races at Devil's Bowl, and like he said, make sure you guys check out Devil's Bowl. It's a very awesome little track. And hold on a second. So, at the end of the day, before I say it, goodbye. Like I said again, thanks to the troops for Memorial Day and all that stuff. Today's Memorial Day. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Social media, like I said, Facebook, Brady Hauser, or Out of the Fast Lane. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Keep staying positive during these tough times. One more couple shout outs to Barney Seinko again, like I said, for making this awesome banner. They are on Facebook at Johnny Licata. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. Awesome banner right here. I couldn't thank Johnny enough for making me this. And Johnny Licata will also be hosting a iRacing race this Thursday on Facebook Live and Twitch. Twitch.com/Lahey. That is capital Lahey. And that will be live. They have pretty cool announcers. That's sprint cars at like Charlotte and Volusia and all that stuff. But their sprint car paint schemes are big block modified drivers. So there's people racing like Jesse Mueller, Jack Lehner, a whole bunch of them guys, Peter Britton, Tim McCready, Brett Hearn, all them fancy paint schemes. So it's pretty cool that he'll be hosting that. So make sure you guys check that out Thursday. And yeah. Thank you guys for watching. There will be a lot more to come. Like I said, we got a whole bunch of drivers and interviews coming up in the next few days. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that.